Hi everyone, welcome back to Botanica B's Tray Design Series. Today we're going to convert those 4th of July patriotic trays into midsummer trays. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. I know we did, and looking forward to the end of summer and all that brings. I'm sure there's a lot of vacations planned and some family time to spend together. So I hope you all get to do that. One way to keep your house kind of fun and inviting for home. It always feels good to get home after those long vacations, right? And a nice welcoming little tray. It's just a nice little touch of decor. It doesn't take a lot of effort. It's easy to store. I know that's a high consideration for a lot of us. So I want to show you how we can convert our old glory tray into a midsummer tray. All right, the first thing we're gonna do is, obviously, this will have to go into storage maybe for next year. And I think we'll remove our white geranium also. This one had this little glass lantern in it. I think we'll keep that. And of course, the blueberry picks. And we're gonna reuse those. And the white geraniums can be moved to anywhere else. They're nice and fresh. I like white and green for summer. I about said spring. Spring is gone. It went fast, right? But I like white and green for summer, and so that's kind of a nice thing. So maybe you can find a different spot for those and reuse them in a vase or in a container of sorts. And then of course we have our brick mold tray, and we'll definitely want to keep that too. I'm using again the jute runner here. And this is just a really nice versatile runner. This little runner can just take you right into fall. I think it just kind of blends with whatever's on it. And like I said, I have this dark tray and dark table. And this will just give it a little contrast to really make this, I guess, what we could say, pop off of there. All right, so I think the first thing we're gonna do is brighten this up. I'm going to use this pick with the sunflower and the lemon. We'll get a little yellow in there. There's a couple daisies there. Just really cute. And I'm going to build this box up a little bit with a little of moss coverage. So I'm going to grab some scrap paper. It could be any kind of packing peanuts, anything you want to recycle. And I'm going to stuff the bottom of the tray with this, and then we're going to cover it with a little bit of moss. Okay, I'm back. I'm just going to take this tissue paper that was in a container. You could use your Botanica B tissue paper. I'm just going to crinkle it up. And I'm just going to make just kind of a flat surface. This is how I raise things up when my tray is maybe a little too deep. I use it a lot at the holidays when I'm trying to put Christmas ornaments out in a bowl or vessel. I think not really a secret, but it's always just good to know that other people are doing the same thing. And then we have this bag of moss. We do have all kinds of moss down here at the Bee. We'll have little bags of it for you to take. And this is reindeer moss, and it is a brighter moss. It's kind of a variegated moss. It comes in clumps. Like that. It's kind of a unique moss. It does come in different colors, and there are some variegates in here, some variation. And I like it because it's easy to do. I would say it's the least messy of the mosses. Sometimes moss can just make this big mess. So I really do suggest maybe doing this on, you know, on a trash bag or something you could just fold up and get rid of. So we're just gonna kind of scatter this about. Now I used white tissue paper as my scrap paper in the bottom, and so sometimes that does cause a little problem because it's bright and it shows through the green. So if you have paper that is the same color as whatever moss or whatever you're covering it with. Now you could easily cover this with pebbles that maybe you picked up from your favorite beach or whatever, a little beach sand. You can get, sometimes I get rocks out of my driveway. I had some river rock in my driveway and I thought it was really pretty, so I just washed it off and brought it inside, and I use it sometimes like in my plants and things. So you can get resources from all over. Now be careful, because there are laws against taking beautiful rocks and things out of national parks and state parks. We want to leave our protected areas, you know, protected. So I'm not advocating for that, but you can even purchase rocks if you wanted to, or maybe you just pick them up when you're on walks and things like that. Okay. Okay, there we go. That's looking pretty good. There we go on that. Okay, I think the next thing we're gonna do is put this lantern back, but this time it's gonna be up a little ways, so that'll be really nice. I'm just gonna make a little space, and since the lantern is kind of clear, I am gonna drop some moss down inside to cover up that white paper. And most of this is going to be covered anyway, but I just want to make sure and just poke it in. Don't poke it in too far, leave it a little fluffy like it would grow in nature. There. Okay, so we're going to take our sunflower pick and always fluff up your flowers, and you can store them pretty compressed. I would be careful not to smash these petals backwards, you know, so they're going backwards, but just make sure they're up, and you can kind of tighten it back up. I've just kind of fluffed this all up. Just pull the pieces out and separate them out a little bit. Make sure you're seeing all of the little details in there. There's a lot going on. You can cut or bend. I know a lot of designers say cut them, and they do fit really well, but I like to change things out a lot, so I am a wire bender. Okay, and we're going to place that right in the front here. Just gonna push that wire down and make sure you can see everything. Sometimes these leaves can give me a little bit of problem depending on the way that they were folded, and just kind of hold them a little bit, and the heat of your hand should make them iron out a little bit. Okay, I'm going to just cover that wire and just a little bit of moss. And then we're going to reuse those blueberry picks. I love these. I think yellow and blue are so refreshing. It looks like blueberry lemonade or something. And I'm going to stick those down in here. Just kind of like we did before, just let them kind of spread out and intermingle with the yellow. And I'm going to stick the other one down here in the front. I've got a lot of paper down in there and a lot of moss, so you might have to kind of work this and convince it that it goes there, but I think it'll go in pretty good. I'm going to drape this over the side just a little bit. When designing, just double check that when you're using flowers of any kind, fresh or silks, that their faces, like if you look at a flower, they kind of have a face when it's looking at you or looking away, that the faces should be facing you or at an angle towards you. So this little daisy's facing out, this little sunflower is, and so that's always a nice way to make sure that things, I guess, look right. You want to see most of the time you want to see the face of the flower. Sometimes you break that rule, but most of the time that's true. We have this little lemon feature, so we want to make sure he's prominent because he's kind of special, right? So when you have a focal point for your design, you want to make sure that it stays that way. I always tell my design students that it's like walking in a crowded room and everyone's talking, you know, in the theater before the show starts, and you can't really hear anything discernible. It's just a lot of people mumbling, talking. But then when the lights come on and there's a star on the stage, everyone's focus goes to that, and that's the only one you hear. So visually translate that into the stage, the theater, everyone's mumbling, but then when the star comes out, those are the ones you see. And you could count this as the star or this. They're bright, they're attention grabbing, and they're large. So that's kind of how you can determine what might be a star. So these blueberries are in here. I know they're kind of hard to see. They're giving us height. So we also want to variegate the height, and also they give us some texture. So we have kind of this smooth lemon fruity texture. And so now we have the repeated element of this smooth blueberry, also a fruit. So we have these repeating elements. So you always want to repeat elements over and over, whether it's texture or color or scale, any of those things can be repeated. So you just repeat it over and over. Now we want a variety of textures for sure. So we have this little sharp, fuzzy looking flower. We have these daisies, which look soft, dainty stuff, and then these smooth and shiny. And then of course we juxtapose this very old-fashioned looking box with this very clean and modern looking lantern. It's kind of a fun twist. So you can have things be very much the same, or you can go polar opposite. But this variety of texture really makes this an interesting little tiny box with not a lot of work, right? Those are my favorites. All right, so to finish this off, we could simply use one of our little candles. Maybe you already have an USB candle at home. These are great. They don't get hot. If you forget about them and leave them on, it's great. Some of them have timers. We'll just put that down in here. And then you can kind of see what that looks like. You could also put a real candle in there if you wanted to. It is glass, so it would be pretty safe, I think, to do that. Or anything else that you want to put in there. That is our easy conversion for our Old Glory tray design. So we reused the lantern, we used the berry picks, and all we have to store are these two items, unless you can find another use. I would just stick this in with another planter or something that I have at home, but really not a lot to store. So that's kind of our goal, to not, have to purchase a lot of things. I know budgets are tight. I know it is hard to justify spending money on home interior, but it does feel good to have a little creature comfort, some beauty at home. Our homes are important, and what we surround ourselves really affects our mental well-being and how we see the world, and giving yourself a little beauty feels good. And when you can do it yourself, it feels even better. It's just kind of fun to be able to do a little crafty and a little home decor. There's a couple other ideas that I thought we could do. Using the same pick and the same blueberries, I'm going to remove this little lantern. Now this little lantern could be really cute, full of anything. I do have a little moss in there, so I'm gonna dump that out. It can just sit on the table, it can sit on your nightstand, it can hold things. It would be really cute even on your desk full of pens. So there's a lot of cute things. We like to collect those cute pens. You can see them through this, so I kind of like that. I like repurposing things and cycling them out. What we're going to do is add a piece of pottery. This one happens to be a denim colored row pottery. I love this flower vase. It is heavy hand-thrown pottery, the real deal. Definitely a collector's piece, but maybe you have a piece already. And I'm just gonna nestle him right down there in our moss and repurpose a few pieces around here. Now you don't have to have moss at all. You can simply just hide it with other greens. You could have left the geraniums in there and just put this piece on top if you wanted to really bulk it up. So it's up to you. I'm gonna add these little crazy daisies. These are a silk stem. They're really cute. I'm gonna add this one down here in our existing floral pick. So I'm gonna crinkle up his stem and just kind of pinch them together like that. And I'm gonna work this in here so that this daisy kind of sticks out the back. Now larger blooms you're gonna wanna keep a little closer to the bottom. I'm gonna take out this floral pick for a minute. we go. And then I would actually cut the stem off, I think, but because we're at the store, I'm not going to do that. It's pretty long. Okay, so now we have this kind of greenish yellow bloom. I'm gonna make sure his face is where I want him. All right, now I'm going to take 2 more, and I've already crinkled their stems. You can see how zigzagged it is. Same thing, and I'm gonna stick it in our vase. You could definitely use flowers out of your yard. I do like the cream of these. They kind of have a greenish tinge to them. And I'm going to put them at 2 different heights, just a nice stair step. So when you're arranging flowers, whether they're from your yard or silks, you want to stair step them. You don't want them all at the same height, and you don't want them both facing like this so it looks like headlights or big eyeballs. So you can kind of make them askew a little bit, and then make sure that you leave about the same height between them. I'm gonna pull this guy up a little bit so it's like even steps. So I'm just gonna hold this extra one here just for depth from the bottom to the top here. And that's gonna be a little spacer there. Okay, I'm not really gonna use that other one, but what I am gonna bring in is 1 more of these beautiful sunflowers. I have crinkled his stem. And what's kind of nice is that this gives a little tension in that skinny jar, and so it really makes it stand up nice. Okay, I'm gonna do a little backwards designing here, so let's see how this looks when we're done. This has a bud. I'm gonna bring that over the edge a little bit and work with the greenery. Arrange it a little bit. Great. Let's peek at that. See what we got. Do that. Okay. I'm gonna let you design over my shoulder. All right, I left that struggle with those in there because I don't want you to get frustrated. I had to take it out, I had to rearrange it, I changed my mind. As I looked at it, I thought that doesn't look very right. And so I just wanted this to slope up and then come down. So it kind of peaks into this. Now this is gonna be our focal piece, supported by this. And then our eye's gonna go here. So we have these bright yellow pulling it through there. We have this coordinating blue that we see pulling all the way down. And so those pulling those colors through that design, it should look like a little path for your eye to walk on. That is really key in making things look like a put together design. So now we have the yellow, and so those are important, and we have this nice piece of pottery here, and we'll get it straight. And we can just turn this if we want just a little bit and adjust. So that is our second design idea, a piece of pottery and a few stems. It can be outside, it can be inside, still using pretty much the same stuff that we had before, the same pick, adding just a few silks in there. Now you could buy a silk mixed pick, like the lemon and the sunflower, and cut it apart and use it for pieces, or you can buy single stems. Just depends on what you want to get there. Okay, I just wanted to show you kind of what, we have a lot of greenery in that one. And we have these table runners. I had these out at St. Patrick's Day, which I thought were really pretty. Green is a big interior design color right now, and I just love this bright green. You could put it out for Spartan football or any other football color if that's your color. and have a football party on it. You could just leave it if it's part of your decor year-round. Green is very much kind of a neutral sometimes. You could use it for Christmas, you can use it for harvest, and you can use it for summer with this really cool grassy tone. So sometimes when you see things in a store on display, it's really easy to see, oh, that red vase at Valentine's Day is Valentine's Day red. But you know, it's also 4th of July red, and it's also Christmas red, and you can really get a lot of mileage out of your pieces. So don't buy a lot of pieces, buy versatile pieces, and then just keep adapting them. The little tiny changes will really make a difference. I love this design because it cools off those hot summer days. The greens, the blues, it's really, really kind of nice. These kind of greenish cream colors, but also still acknowledging the hot summer sun with the sunflowers and the lemons. Just kind of a midsummer cool off. I have one more design for you to convert this into a third design option. Let's disassemble this and put together the last design. All right, I'm going to leave this side of the design the same. I'm gonna use this really dainty swirled mercury glass. I love these inky tones of this. I'm gonna need a little more moss because he's kind of a short one. So I'm just gonna put a little more height down there, and he's gonna sit right up there. I could even make him a little taller if I wanted to. And then I'm just gonna add this little tiny clipping of yellow and stick right there. If you have any yellow flowers, you could do that. You could put nothing in it, it would look cute. You could put a couple cattails in there as they come into season, something growing in your yard that you would like. Just some plain green leaves would be beautiful in that, or any other beautiful item that you have. Maybe you have a beautiful feather that you like to display, or just a little yellow, green, or blue flower. If you don't have any flowers or any leftover silks, you could easily go into your yard and just trim off some branches. This is curly willow. You know, it's kind of hard to see. It's just branches from a tree or a shrub. There's a little trick to getting these to go right. I'm gonna come up close here. Okay, so to rubber band them, I have a rubber band and I have this little gathering of sticks. And I'm just gonna find a stick and put the rubber band over one. And then I'm gonna wrap it around till it's pretty tight. Find a pretty sturdy stick and just drop it in there. And that will hold those together, so you don't have to try to wrap them around. So one more time, let's find a stick, put the rubber band about where you want it. I just slid it right over the stick, wrap it around, just wrapping it around, getting it pretty tight, and just finding another stick. It doesn't have to be the same one, and letting it go. Now we have our little bundle. That rubber band is flexible, so you can pull them out, prune them up a little bit. I'm just gonna stick them right down in here. My rubber band is a little bit high, so I'm just gonna roll it down and then just put them right down in there. Now the thing about having like wild sticks, let wild be wild, but it's really kind of a pretty little addition to this, and it gives it a little height. And you can make a stick out the side, you can make a stick forward. If it's too floppy in there, then just stick a little paper down there, or a couple pebbles just to hold it up. But there's a second version for our ink glass. Our last design. Let's remove this. And we're gonna add a candle. Maybe you have just a really pretty candle that you enjoy. I love this cottage garden candle. It's really cute. It smells really good, like a cottage garden, and it's got the cutest label on it. I gotta get up close for this one. Isn't it sweet? I love those. So packaging is nice, and it's nice to show off beautiful packaging. So you can easily put this candle right down here if you wanted. I would not burn it there, but it's really pretty on display. You could just pull it off here to burn it on a flat surface. I'm always really careful about burning candles near silks. If you wanted to raise it up, you could raise it up a little bit, but this is kind of a lower design. You could even kind of put some of these down. If candles are not for you, let's remove this. And I have one more idea. We have this really cute reed diffuser. It is Desert Sage. It's not a floral scent at all. It's a very masculine scent, just a very Desert Sage scent. Here's what it looks like. It's a great gift, and it's really fun to have at your own house too. So you could easily stick those in here, and that would just be really, really, really cute. There you go. I like this design too. It's functional and pretty. It would be great on an entry table, so you get a really good whiff of that desert sage when you walk in and just kind of set the tone and the mood for your home. Well, that about wraps up taking the Old Glory tray into a midsummer design. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you're having a great summer. Come see us at the shop in Ottawa, Iowa, or visit us at botanicabeco.com and find out where you can get these items so you can transform your home into your little summer oasis. Thanks, I hope to see you at the bee.